Elon Musk has been making on the market. Right. So here we go. Equities. 2 weeks ago, I spoke about potential downside, small downside volatility back to the trend. Mostly was on jobless claims and inflationary data that kind of spooked the market a bit, right? So we did in the last 2 weeks get a little downside move, 5 to 7%. Wasn't really all too much. It was actually viewed in about 3 to 4 days of 1 to 2% downside volatility in the overall equities, which eventually brought us to that overall trend in the S&P 500, in which the dip buyers came in strong last week on Friday to buy up that trend. All right. This took the market higher, as you see yesterday. Markets traded higher, mainly off the back of that jobless claims data that released on Friday. Right, so you can always check that link right here that has the jobless claims data. And then I went ahead and put the top details of that data in the week ending May 15th. The advanced figure of seasonal adjusted initial claims from 444,000 decreased by 34,000 in the previous week. Right? It was very important to note that people are slowly returning back to work, right? But it's been a very, very slow progress, guys. It's been very, very slow, right? So there's still a lot of people still receiving benefit claims from unemployment coverage that were allowing people to stay home more longer. This kind of had a almost like a perverse effect on the labor market, as though people were needed to stay home due to coronavirus, but now not really implied to return to work because of the unemployment benefits were quite strong, allowing people to stay home longer. That kind of worked against the labor market. So we had Governor DeSantis come out and say, hey guys, time to return to work. And then they came out and said, oh, we're going to start unraveling these employment benefits because they're just simply too strong. Right. So this had a play on the numbers and how many people were looking to return to work. You can also check out the gauntlet in the previous report as well that talked about the downside volatility 2 weeks ago in the S&P. Right. Wasn't nothing crazy, just a return to trend. But of course, we've seen some stocks, mostly tech, get beat on those last 2 weeks. But things are kind of changing for tech as of lately, right? We're seeing tech get quite a bit of a momentum. Specific names, though, Enphase was one of those names, right? ENPH. We're going to have a stop in clean energy today to check and see how those stocks are performing today as well, right? So earnings confessionals this week was quite important, right? Nothing too crazy, but Nvidia, the most important stock of this week. Nvidia comes out with I think it's a 4-to-1 stock split on their $600 stock there. Very, very important. I really like Nvidia. Nvidia has very strong sales. They sell some of the best, strongest, most notable PC gaming GPUs. If you're not too familiar with what semiconductors are, right, I'll be bringing to your attention that semiconductors are a rare diamond right now in the industry, as it's been difficult to get your hands on semiconductors. We've been seeing this actually trickle down into some of these electric car manufacturers like Tesla and Ford, as they've been needing semiconducttors to put together their vehicles. So some of these vehicles have stopped producing, slowed up their lines quite a bit, their assembly lines. This has been going on for about 2 quarters now, right? Just about 2 quarters. So keeping up with that data, also paying attention to these GPUs and how they've doubled in value over the last, say, 2 months, right? Some of these GPUs really go on sale online for about $600, and now today they're about $1,200. Right, 1,400 for some of the top line GPUs. So they are like a rare diamond. If you are buying GPUs in December, they have doubled in value since you've had them. That's interesting. Oh, what's going on there? Some sort of phone call going through. Hold on a second, there, guys. Let me close that really quickly. Not sure why that's going off. Close. Very good. And then now I will return back to the Zoom. And let's see here. Where did we move it? Oh, here it is. All right. So as we get back into the Zoom, so yeah, very good. So Nvidia, talked about the stock split in Nvidia. That's very important, guys. I am going to be looking to see how the market performs off the back of that stock split. Remember, Tesla had a stock split. Market ran up going into the split and then came down quite a bit. I'll be watching the performance of Nvidia during that event. Wednesday, I think they secured that stock split for June, the first week of June. All right, so I'll be paying attention to that. Nvidia, very, very strong in the semiconductor space, very, very well needed business for our electronic manufacturers, right? Very, very important. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you remember that. That's exactly what the point I was getting to. Very, very important. So we're gonna be watching that, and that's what I think is gonna happen again. And since the stock will come out about 3-4 times cheaper, right? As the split goes through. So let me see, 600 and something dollars. When the split maybe be about two, 150, $200 stock or so. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. $600 was pretty steep for me, considering how many I would want to put in a portfolio. Said I were to get long Nvidia, but it's gonna be good. I like this one. I like this setup coming out of Nvidia. That means they have more business propositions, new ideas to go. New CEO. I do believe that somebody new did come in power, and they got a lot of new things for the customers, and right, the strength behind all these backed up GPUs. They're gonna have some astronomical sales coming in on Wednesday after the close. I will definitely be dropping the details of that in the group. It's gonna be very important, and likely during the split. There probably going to be some sellers coming up into the split, but maybe not. We're going to go ahead and let the market decide. We're going to go ahead and pay attention to this one, and then kind of make our decision following. Right. So very good. Be keeping up with that one. OKTA. That's another package software company, as well as Snowflake. Pure Storage was found in one of the ARC ETFs as well. Some very good notable um, earnings on Wednesday with some of these tech companies. Okay, very, very important. All right. Thursday, we got a couple of retail consumers in there like Best Buy, Dollar General, Costco. Costco went on a tear earlier this year, right? And Burlington Coat Factory, Ulta, Big Lots coming in on Friday. So there's plenty going on in earnings to wrap up some of these retailers and some in the tech space, right? Even Dick's Sporting Goods, right? Very good. All right, Bitcoin Mayhem. Bitcoin Mayhem has been a thing. Yeah, we've seen the Chinese officials come out and make their stance on Bitcoin. This is nothing new. They've been banning Bitcoin since 2017, and Bitcoin has still consistently gone to new highs. I've been trading in or around and investing in Bitcoin for quite some time. I see Bitcoin go up 1,000% and then crash quite a bit. It happens often. This is the volatility of the product, because of legal stance and it not being regulated. There are pumpers and dumpers, etc., etc. Bitcoin has been probably the biggest questionary asset to ever exist, and this creates that implied volatility, right? So most of the hodlers, right? We will describe hodlers that to hold on to Bitcoin and ride it up and ride it down. Some cover, take out profits, buy a home. Some ride the wave. Some don't even care. They'll just leave their money there and go on the upside, the downside, and are waiting for that long-term projection. It's a real asset class, guys. It's not going anywhere, right? China can ban it all they want. It's not going anywhere. Remember, Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube, all these online social media platforms that we have here in the United States, they do not have in China. Bitcoin will be just fine. Okay. They do not have a lot of the platforms that we have here in the US. They have their own, right? So very important to know that. I don't think that would have any makeup on the decision of where Bitcoin is going to go. Although we do know and respect that 65% of Bitcoin mining does come out of Chinese regions, right? So we of course would have to respect that, right? But over time, these things will change, and it will become a bigger space. There are a lot of benefits to the cryptocurrency asset class, and it's something that we will always keep up with. I've never turned my back on keeping up with Bitcoin. As you guys know, we've been tracking it since the low of the coronavirus at $3,700 all the way up to today's price. That will never change. It's a real asset class, and we will always keep up with it. So the most important up and coming events in the cryptocurrency space, the digital currency consensus conference event. I put the details in that. There's some big fundamental dates coming out this month still, right? The 24th through the 27th. We got this consensus conference. The 28th, the CME futures and options expiration, right? May 30th, we got the SEC first response on a Bitcoin trust, right? There aren't many Bitcoin ETFs, but they are applying for Bitcoin ETFs everywhere, right? So we're seeing that here in Krypton Bitcoin Trust, VinNet Bitcoin Trust, Valere Bitcoin Fund. These are all Bitcoin ETFs that are due to come out. This is going to ultimately grow the space, allowing retailers and fund managers to get involved in the space without actually buying the asset class. Um, that's good. That's very good. That's growth, right? And we'll continue to note this progress in the cryptocurrency space. Also here on the link below, has the details of the CoinDesk consensus, the digital currency event, and it's got some big speakers, right? We got Kathy Wood, Ray Dalio, the owner of Bridgewater Associates, right? Mick Saylor, right? CEO and fund manager of MicroStrategies, all will be talking about the cryptocurrency space. Okay, so that's going to be very important. You could check out this link here. That sure. Oh yeah, really? Yeah, definitely. They've been working hard on that crypto space there. With all of these top tech leaders, they've been getting involved and talking about Bitcoin publicly. This has talked up the price, talked down the price. It's been an ongoing thing as of lately. It's definitely been an ongoing thing as of lately. So keeping up with that, that's quite important as well. And we'll be seeing more of this throughout the rest of the trading week, right? So that was the pre-market report, guys. Pretty good details in there. And now we're going to turn over to what's going on in the market overall, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's check out some of these sectors and industries on the week or on the day. All right, first I mentioned I wanted to stop over in clean energy, as the clean energy book has been a little sideways lately. Right, solar flat today, not all too much going on there. Charging and charging solutions and ETFs, majority flat across the book. Right, Enphase down $2 today at 139, as it did make a steep stride from the 117 lows last week. 117 lows took it up to about 140 in a single week, which is notable to see this kind of performance in the clean energy sector, as it's been quite weak, right? Kind of doesn't really have as much attention as it did, right? But I did notice that move in Enphase also was upgraded, I think, by Bank of America. or Goldman, one of the big renowned banks, upgraded the stock, took the stock up pretty high, pretty quick too, right? Biotech, in the biotech space, mRNA picking up $7 today, very good. And some of these other, Pfizer, let's see, where is Pfizer in here? We're going to keep up with we got to keep up with this sector too. Oh, here's Pfizer down 35 cents, trading 39.46, and AstraZeneca 57.11. Right, AstraZeneca looks like it picked up pace last week on I think an FDA approval to allow to use these sinister vaccines on people. Right, so Pfizer, mRNA, very strong move. Actually called that dip buy there at 158. Did buy those. This has been very consistently trading very well up against this trend. So I did buy those at 158.62, trading 170, 128 today. I'll probably go ahead and take them off at the top at 180. That's just a trade, swing trade. Those do work out pretty well. This trend has been holding together very strongly for me to ignore it. So the risk reward was in my favor. I went ahead and took some of those. Not bad. Let's go ahead and stop out in financials. Got to see these banks as they've been performing well due to the S&P 500 having an outside performance. As of lately, JP Morgan's up today doing pretty well. Bank of America, Alibank, Wells Fargo, all in the green today. Even Citibank picks up some pace here, trading above that 73.30 in the last few weeks. Bank of America too, I've been watching this one. I was watching this one yesterday. Looking like it's getting ready to poke above 43.10 here. Should trade higher, should trade $45. These bank stocks have been doing well. As it's just a cyclical sector, right? Cyclical sector. The cyclical sectors have been in an advantage point since about December. So about 5-6 months now here of consistent rallying in the bank sector, right? So financials have been doing pretty well, right? Finance payments. Finance payments systems usually go up when Bitcoin goes down. I've been noticing a lot of that. MasterCard, Amex, and Visa look pretty fair as of lately, but finance payments, we'll be watching this sector, as well as Western Union as it broke its multi-week bull trend here, now turning down 24.48 in Western Union. Hotel, travel, and leisure. Right, we're hearing more and more about the CDC releasing these holds on travel. Also seen an executive order get signed by Governor DeSantis to allow tourism in the state of Florida and get these cruise lines back up to speed. It's been very important. Hotels have been picking up as well. So we have the hotel stocks on the roar today again for another consecutive day in a row. Airlines, United Airlines, American Airlines, Delta, Allegiance, Save, which is Spirit, all doing very well today. And the Jets ETF picking up 60 cents today off the back of that strength. Cruise lines have been doing pretty good from Carnival, Norwegian, and Royal, off that same data of allowing these cruise lines to get back to doing what they do, right? Taking old folk out on the water, right? Being able to enjoy good retirement time, right? Royal Caribbean up almost $3 today. Let's see, industrials. Most of the industrial sectors have been in good shape. They've been performing the best, and have had probably the most notable performance in or across the market as a total, right? So I said most of the opportunities for swing trades will be in industrials, and it has been probably the most consistent sector to participate in, from Westlake Chemical to Cummins to 3M. General Motors has also had a pretty good performance as of lately, and industrial machinery like John Deere picking up $6 today. Not too bad. AMAT has been a good performer as well. I bought and sold these a few times. Applied Materials. These have been A very, very, very strong performing stock. I don't own it anymore, but I have traded it quite a few times. It's been a very, very consistent rally. Those are the sectors, those are the strongest sectors, cyclical and industrials, right? Growth now starting to show some attention, so we'll be scooping down into some of these tech sectors here shortly. But 3D printing and manufacturing looking to be a little bit green across the board here today. The leader in the 3D printing and manufacturing sector is PRLB, right? It coming out of the triple digit price. I think I find it very undervalued. I wouldn't be surprised if a big renowned bank decides to upgrade the stock. This is a big operation. Protolabs is a huge operation, guys. This is way undervalued. But this is what's been going on in the growth sector as of lately. This thing is way undervalued. The kind of machinery and labor work that this company does, it's severely undervalued. But this is the environment that we're in. Until these big bank stocks come in and upgrade the stock, it'll likely trade flat and quiet. These are buying opportunities in some of the growth sectors. I would stick to the leaders in some of these growth stocks. Stick to the leaders. Stick to the biggest of that industry that is down quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear a big upgrade for Protolabs coming out soon. This company, $2.4 billion market cap right now, way undervalued, and be watching and waiting for that upgrade in this sector. Keep your eye out for that one. All right, freight carriers. Freight carriers have been doing well. There is a trucking shortage. Matter of fact, FedEx, UPS, XPO, Saia, all in the air freight and carrier division. Very important. JB Hunt as well. Flat today, right? Flat today. But it's been a very, very important sector to watch. UPS went on the tear earlier this year, as well as FedEx. Those are the leaders in the air freight and carriers sector, right? Construction. We all know that I was quite long MTZ for a very long time from 89.35. I went ahead and finished taking the rest of those off. 115 was good. From 89.35, it was a good swing. I think I held these for quite a few weeks. I went ahead and covered, and gonna go ahead and hang out from the industrial sector for now. But I do see new highs coming out of Maztec. I came across this Maztec idea. I think the new apartment I moved to, there was I seen some trucks rolling out. I was like, oh, Maztec. Oh, I've seen that truck before. I went ahead and did some due diligence and some research on the company. And at that moment, I was like, it's in the appropriate sector for this sector rotation as well. I went ahead and put that one on 89.35. It was a little wild ride to get started, but once it got moving, it really got moving. 115.72 today. I like Maztec a lot. All right, very good. Forest products. All right, I think timber went limit down in the last few weeks due to inflation. The inflation situation took a lot of commodities to new heights. We seen gold go to almost 1,900 per troy ounce, silver, palladium, uranium, and timber was one of them, right? Copper and timber was one of them. So forest products have been a sector that I wanted to keep up with. So I did have some forest companies in here. And so very good. All right, maritime tankers have been flat and quiet lately. Not much of anything to see over there, but just good to have them all organized so that you can keep up with them. All right. Very good. Pot stocks. Pot stocks has new legislation due to come out about what's going on in marijuana, right? Stocks still not moving, right? Most of them being small cap companies, just not in favor of today's environment. But APHA did merge into Tilray, and that was the most notable thing that has happened so far in the marijuana sector. What else has happened in marijuana? New legislation due to come out this week about marijuana. So we'll see if that props up the stock. But we see New Mexico go legal and different states across the U.S. And pot stocks have just absolutely been flat lately. So we'll just have to watch and see what this new legislation does. Retail consumers. Retailers have been important lately. Very important. I think the strongest retailer in this sector of the most recent month or two has been Home Depot. Right? Home Depot absolutely went on a tear and traded higher consistently, but now getting a break here finally the last 2 to 3 weeks. Home Depot has gotten a break. I did trade a quick short position when it broke below the 319.27.25 price, and I think I traded down to about 310, which is a few dollars, and I haven't touched it since. But Home Depot, very good. It went on a tear, absolute tear from the most recent lows of 250. Went straight up for quite a few weeks on end and traded straight through $300. So Home Depot and Lowe's, right? Low. And has been doing pretty well. Now on a bit of a pullback, getting some digestion here. Likely will trade higher later on in the next few weeks. Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat hasn't really had any new news yet. This is one stock that has just been trading sideways for years. This thing has not gone on a trend yet. Very notable performance that it has been trading in this way, right? They need to do something new, something different, something to get the stock to rally. But stock's been trading sideways for a long time. Kind of reminds me of overstock, right? Just peaks and valleys, but no consistent trend. Very important to note that whenever you're researching longer term investments, that you don't want to have to monitor all the time, because when the stocks trade like this, you can expect not to have consistent gains over the long period. Very important to know that, right? Nike has been doing fair. Hasn't made new highs in a while, but it's been doing quite fair, right? 134.50 today. We'll see what happens with the retail consumer over the next few weeks. So very good. Right? So most of this book kind of mixy dixie though. Nothing really too consistent. But Peloton, they had a major recall not too long ago. Huge recall, the biggest recall I've ever seen. They recalled like a lot of those treadmills, specifically, not the bikes, but the treadmills. It was brought to my attention that it wasn't all of their product lineup, but mostly the treadmills. The treadmills was a big concern. They wanted to do something different with the treadmills, right? So it sold off quite a bit. Now 99.79. This thing still sells massive numbers. So we'll see how Peloton performs over the next few trading weeks, right? Online auto sales has been a decent place. Carvana gets its way back above that 240 price. It was very important that it did, or it would have to deal with more downside, but it definitely flipped back up above 240. Likely we'll see Carvana go higher now. Much bigger market cap than CarMax, right? CarMax made a big boo-boo there in not buying Carvana just before the pandemic in 2020. Now $18.75 billion market cap. Carvana coming in at almost $2 billion more at $21 billion. Very interesting to see Carvana take over CarMax for the largest online auto sales dealer in the U.S. Discount auto stores, kind of mixy. Not too much going on in discount auto stores. Now let's drop over into tech and internet service. Robux got a lot of attention lately. They had some crazy big numbers, right? A lot of these parents paying good money to have their children play these video games and sit in front of the computer for quite some time. So we've seen Robux go on a tear. Robux went on a tear straight through 82.32, traded 90 briefly. I wouldn't be surprised for it to come back and test that $82 level again, but making some progress. Robux looking strong as far as its price. Very good earnings numbers. Robux, very interesting to see some of these video game companies really have some outside performance. The biggest talk of the year, Coinbase Global, all right, picking up $7 today. Remember yesterday we spoke about that big upgrade by Goldman. I think it was Goldman Sachs. I think Goldman upgraded the company. Guys, you got to remember, Coinbase makes money on every transaction done. That's buy or sell. These numbers are going to be absolutely massive when they're due to come out. The only downside tailwind to Coinbase is that it's heavily pinned to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's underperformance seems to usually put pressure on the stock. That's pretty normal. We've seen that happen in Tesla as well. So keep your eye on that. We do believe that we still are in a bearish bounce mode in Bitcoin and that we could trade 30,000 again. But Coinbase picking up $8.30 today. We did snag that low pretty decently. Very good to those that did take that position. We'll see how it trades over the next few weeks. Very good. Right? We can appreciate some decent movement out of that stock over the next few days. Goldman Sachs making some notable changes as well. Very, 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 very good. Very, 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 very good. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Yeah, we got something. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Okay, very good. Cloud space. What's going on in the cloud space today? Snowflake down $4. Social media went on a strong movement yesterday. Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, and Facebook did really well. Did very, very, very well in the most recent trading days. Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, and Facebook. Pinterest is definitely a $70 stock or so, right? Having a nice little movement over the last few trading weeks. Last 2 weeks picking up about $10 per share. Twitter as well. Twitter's been doing good, and Snapchat has been doing pretty fair. Facebook being the strongest in the social media umbrella. Right? Online e-commerce from Alibaba, Oracle, Etsy, and Chegg. Etsy looking like picking up $3 today, and Alibaba has been a little hurt here, holding on to this 210 level for this 210 level with all its might. If it breaks down below that, we will see 169 in Alibaba. Alibaba just has not been doing so well as a stock, as a company. With Jack Ma, Jack Ma has already stepped down from the company, and the stock has been under pressure ever since the Chinese government came out and was talking about monopoly practices coming out of Alibaba and the Ant Group, right? Very good. Cybersecurity has been a very important sector, and I talked about earlier this year before it happened. I spoke about what's going on and that Biden has a potential to possibly deal with a cybersecurity hack, and then it happened, right? Cybersecurity stocks kind of got a little flustered and had some decent movement behind that. But it's going to be a portfolio or a book that we will keep up with and try to keep our eye on. Cybersecurity looking pretty fair as of lately. Right? Kind of mixy, kind of quiet today, mostly flat across the board. CrowdStrike probably being the leader in that industry. Technology, electronic vehicles, Tesla taking off $3 today, NIO up $1. And semiconductors kind of mix across the board. Nvidia down $3 after a strong run, and TSM up $1 today. Xclinics up 50 cents. Not all too much going on in the semiconductor area, but a little flat, right? Tech must be down a little bit today because we're seeing a little bit of pressure in some of these stocks across the board. GME picking up $4 today at 184.53. That means a lot of people still holding the GME stock since the GME craze back in February, right? To even keep the price up at near $200 goes to show there's quite a bit of holders still in that stock, right? Unity trading 95.10 today, and looking pretty okay in the tech space. Still kind of a sketchy area to be in as well. Got to keep your exposure still pretty low, right? And keep your trades concentrated to ideas that are going to perform well, right? Very important that you do so. And for the most part, that's the most that's going on in the overall market today. Does anybody have any questions or ideas or stocks they want to review today? TQQQ, the equity derivative, the leveraged equity derivative, right? Let's have here TQQQ picking up 83 cents today. That trend has been a long, strong trend, has been going higher after a steep drop about 2 weeks ago, returning back to previous entries. Here, let's clean up some of these technicals that I was working on earlier in the month. All right. Most recent pullback about 3 weeks ago returned us to the 89 level. Now, as of today, getting into this new week, 101.98 did trade higher. The trend has held for a long time, very long time trend here, right? And likely we'll get back up to that 109, 110 level in the next few trading weeks, or next few trading days, according to how it's moving currently. Okay, so 109, 110 was the high. A lot of profits were taken up there. I think over the next few weeks we'll get back up there. So 101.95 TQQ, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Trend holding together pretty well. It looks like QLD had a split. Ooh. Looks like QLD had a split. ProShares looks like ProShares looks to be that ProShares split the stock as they did TQQ not too long ago as well. So this is pretty normal. QLD is actually a double leveraged product, a double leveraged tool, and TQQ is a triple leveraged tool. They did the TQQ split before they did the QLD split. So like just yesterday, QLD was like 140 or 130 or so. Now they did the split, 63.45 today. This is just a price correction for the split, although it looks like the whole world just ended. But that's what happened here. They did this with TQQ not too long ago. That's why it's 101.70 something, and this was like over $200. It was like 190 something at the time. But QLD looked like it went through a split as well. That's pretty normal. They needed to do something with that price anyway. But if we look at the asset overall today, it's up. All right, hold on, let's go to the daily, or flat today. So that's what's going on in the tech space. But QLD, the double leveraged ETF for the NASDAQ, get its price cleaned up and a stock split. Right, get the price cleaned up, kind of reset the product again, and it'll go ahead and start trading alongside the NASDAQ once all the adjustments are made. All right, once all the adjustments are made. So very good. All right, the SPY is up 40 cents today. The S&P flat, right? Looking pretty good. We started the week really strong. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a little weakness in the middle of the week. Looks like UDAO might have had a similar change. ProShares did a stock split in the UDAO as well, it looks like, after trading a 150 high or so. Right? So got some adjustments being made in or around the market overall, and some of these products or tools, very important that you note that this is going on, right? So that's all that's going on in that space specifically. Now let's have a quick check in. Now let's have a quick check in the cryptocurrency space. All right, let's go ahead and stop in crypto. Why not? All right. Musk had some big tweets, right? And the most recent days, Musk had some big tweets. I talked about very important level to watch, 30,000, which was like the 29,000 level. If we traded below that, we got some more deep falling action, and we didn't. right? Some tweets and some changes and some discussions allowed Bitcoin to hold that 30,000 level. We've seen some of these altcoins really get beat on as we traded down towards that price. But a little pullback today. We're seeing it across the board. Ether down $65 today. Bitcoin down 1,000 as the volatility increases. If we get back above the 41,000 level, maybe we'll see 50 again. But we'll keep up with the volatility in Bitcoin. Some of these altcoins, remember, these altcoins are going to trade just as if the benchmark assets of stocks like our equities, NASDAQ, S&P 500, and the Dow Jones. If the Bitcoin does not perform well, none of these altcoins will either. Very important to know that, unless we're dealing with like a suboptimal coin that's like on some of these smaller brokerage platforms, like on CakeSwap or one of these new. I mean, these digital currencies are nothing really all too new. They've been using these alternative sources of money in video games for a very long time, guys. Even in like online chat spaces as well. These websites use alternative coin sources for revenue and getting people to deposit their real money onto the platform, and then they give them the platform money and they make money on that exchange, etc., etc., etc. It's kind of nothing new, right? But now we're seeing more of it. So now there's even more currency choices out there available. And we're seeing this space continue to grow in many different ways. Even with NFTs, NFTs has been very interesting as well. So it's been very interesting to keep up with the development in or around this sector. Ripple's supposed to have an update for us regarding their fight with the SEC. Returned almost to 69 cents recently, bounced off that most recent high. And we'll watch Ripple to see what happens. What happens with the SEC and Ripple? Because if the SEC wins this battle against Ripple, maybe we'll see Ripple trade below that 70-cent mark, back down into the 30 cents area. Right? But big lawsuit there with Ripple. They'll likely settle, and if they do settle, I think that could be good for Ripple. If they do settle, that could be bullish for Ripple. Right? So very good. Right. Does anybody have any questions or ideas regarding the cryptocurrency space? Safe Moon or Moon Safe. Safe Moon, I think, was down as well. You would have to check that one out on Bitmart. Let's see here. Most of them were down. Moon token, Moon this and that, Moon now. Yeah. Yeah, it's not on there. You gotta go on Bitmart and check it out on Bitmart. You could type in Moon on Bitmart and you'll be able to find it on there. I think I checked this morning though. It was down about 20 cents from, 20 cents. It was down about 20% from over the weekend. 25% from over the weekend. All right. So Moon down. Most of the smaller currencies are going to be under more reasonable pressure, as opposed to some of the bigger cryptocurrencies like Ether and Cardano and such like that. We could get more downside volatility in Bitcoin, but we're specifically going to be watching these levels. It doesn't look bad to me as it continues to build up, but we'll wait and see. We've tested that 30,000 mark a few times, and there are some pretty decent articles talking about crypto funds buying the dip at 30,000. So we see a lot of that defense down here at 30,000. But we'll see if we get back above 41 and the FUD stops, right? They stop putting out negative news about cryptocurrency, because it seemed like a plague all at one time. They were all talking down Bitcoin, from US legislators to Chinese regulations and officials, to even Elon Musk talking about Bitcoin using a poor source of energy to mine its coins. It was just all happening at one time. I thought that was pretty interesting as well. That a lot of this information was nothing new either. It was the same information that was talked about in 2017 that got the price down as well. But ultimately, we'll see. We'll let Bitcoin decide what it wants to do going forward. But big bets. We'll keep up with that. With that conference though this week, and that is here. You can go ahead and check this link out. So you can catch this conference and listen to Kathy Wood on her bull case on cryptocurrency, and Michael Saller at MicroStrategies as well. Very, very, very important. All right, here we go. All right, quite a few people talking on this one. Panel looks pretty good. Yeah, this guy, this woman, this guy should be pretty good. Should be pretty good to hear about what's going on here. So it should be good. You know, there are going to be some bull cases, some bear cases, willing to hear it all. So it should be a good chat. You can check that one out on coindesk.com. And the link is in our pre-market report. All right. Does anybody else have any questions, concerns, or ideas regarding markets today? Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Another day in markets. Right? Another day in markets. We'll see what's going on for the rest of the trading day today. But it's good to see. I think I was the most recent trading I was doing was long SPY. Got long SPY last week Friday off the back of jobless claims data. It was okay to get long SPY again on Monday. So just trading short-term calls in the SPY, and if I'm bearish and trading downside volatility, I am short the QQQ, which would be the Invesco QQQ Nasdaq derivative. Right? These have the most contracts available intraday, single day contracts, the 2-day expiry, 3-day expiry, 1-week expiry, 2-week expiry. They have the most contracts available. It's the most traded, some of the most traded options in these specific asset classes. So when I do trade equities, I do like to trade the calls or puts in QQQ or the SPY. All right, very good. Does anybody else have any questions, concerns, or ideas regarding markets today? All right, very good, very good. I think I went through most of everything. Plenty good details in the report, and I will be releasing a lot of that information regarding the earnings reports that's coming up from through Benzinga, right? And if there's any new fundamental events this week, I'll be dropping them in the chat. I hope everybody has a good trading day. Good to see everybody this morning. Good to hear from some of you. And any more questions or ideas before we roll out? Very good. Hope everybody has a good trading day today. What is it today? Tuesday? Today's Tuesday? Yep. Tuesday 25th. About to close out the month of May already. And should be good. Should be good. Crypto, high volatility in the crypto space. It's everywhere. Right, it's the biggest talked about asset class right now. Yeah, Bitcoin's on a pedestal right now. Definitely something that's going on. Something that you talk about. Even Litecoin traded, broke that big trend here, but traded as low as 118. All right, a lot of dip buying going on. A lot of volatility as well, even in Digibyte. Right, so it's spreading out across the board. Some of the important mining companies like Mara and Riot trading all the way down to 20 some odd dollars or so. If Bitcoin goes on another run, we will likely see these go on another run as well. Right, some of the biggest cryptocurrency mining companies that exist. Right, very good. Hope everybody has a good trading day, and we catch up again for another pre-market report later on this week. Very good.